Good evening, Facebook family. Bryan Post here. Just coming back to you with another Facebook Live video. I've got a little friend joining me this evening. See if you guys can see Crazy Chicken. Hopefully, Crazy Chicken doesn't attack me during our little talk, or you're going to really be challenged in seeing me handle my regulation. So actually, I think I'm going to just step on out in the yard a little further and give Crazy Chicken a little bit of space so he doesn't feel like he's being imposed upon. So this evening, I am going to, and let me say happy Monday to everyone. Crazy Chicken's actually following me, so he must be wanting to hear what it is I have to talk about. So I'm going to talk to you about how to end lying today. This is something that I have spent a lot of time teaching parents and professionals over the years. I have a very simple formula, and I'm going to try to break it down to you probably over the course of maybe a couple of sessions so I can take my time and look at each little segment and not give you too much at any one time. So the significance of lying, and hi Kimberly, the significance of lying is that children, just like adults, lie because they are stressed out and scared. That's like principle number one that you have to understand. The only time we lie, whether we're a child or whether we are an adult, it does not matter, is when we're experiencing some level of stress. And it is hi Amy, it's a brain-based state that we're actually experiencing, because in the moment, so I want you to think about this, in the moment when you ask a child a question, they already know that they have done something wrong, right? You know too that the child has done something wrong. That's why you're asking them the question to begin with. Hi, Mr. Chicken. So what you have to keep in mind is that because of the situation the child is in, they're already in an escalated state of stress within their brain. Their amygdala is already activated, okay? So when you ask the child, did you eat the chocolate chip cookies? They already know they've done something they probably weren't supposed to, whether it's an energy state that we experience from the other person, which is probably the case, because you're probably a little escalated because you were looking forward to having that chocolate chip cookie all day long. You know, you were at work, you were stressed, and we know that stress spelled backwards equals desserts. So you're looking forward to having that chocolate chip cookie. You get home, there are no chocolate chip cookies. So you know, you look at your child, you see the chocolate on his mouth, all in his teeth, and he knows just by the energy that he wasn't supposed to eat the chocolate chip cookie. You're agitated, right? Your amygdala is agitated. You feel a little stressed because your chocolate chip cookie is gone. So you say to him, Benji, did you eat the chocolate chip cookie? Both you and Benji already know who has eaten the chocolate chip cookie. Both of you are stressed in this moment. So when you ask Benji, did you eat the chocolate chip cookie? Cortisol surges through his brain. The moment cortisol surges through his brain, remember I've said this in some past Facebook Lives, I can't reiterate it enough, this is a very important point. In fact, I would encourage you to write this down and think about it, meditate on it. The moment the brain hits a heightened level of stress, our thinking becomes confused and distorted, and our short-term memory is suppressed. So the moment you become stressed, your thinking becomes confused and distorted. You're no longer thinking clearly, and your short-term memory is suppressed. You can't even remember what was just happening 5 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago, 30 seconds ago, 15 seconds ago. So in the state of distortion and in the state of confusion, this is an important piece. And this is why I want to break this up over a few sessions for you guys. In that moment of confusion, the brainstem, which holds all of our most core memories, in addition to our trauma memories, our most stressful memories, are stored at the level of the brainstem. So the moment the amygdala turns on and starts to release that surge of cortisol, it actually activates those memories in the brainstem, which then bring those memories to life. When you're parenting a child with a trauma history, whether biological child, adopted child, foster child, doesn't matter. Even when you're dealing with an adult in this situation, I really like this concrete thought, and it'll help you. The worst thing that ever happened to that individual in that moment is threatening to happen again. So in my lectures, I used to have the audience stand up, and I would have them all stand up in a room, face a certain direction. I'd have the person behind them put their hand into like a little gun and hold it to the back, literally touch the back of the head of the other person. And it's so interesting because everyone would be really nervous, right? It's a fake gun, right? But just touching it to the back of someone's head, that experience alone is enough to raise anxiety. So that is the analogy I like to use when we think about lying. When you ask that child, did you eat the chocolate chip cookie? It is as if he has a gun to the back of his head. He is terrified. He fears for his life. His thinking is confused and distorted. His short-term memory that says you've never hurt him, you've always provided for him, you've always provided security, you've always tucked him in at night, always provided him food. Thank you, Mary. Says, you are a threat right now, and you are a threat to my life. You are potentially going to kill me. So when you ask that child, did you eat that chocolate chip cookie? And Benji looks at you with chocolate all over his mouth. And he says, no, mommy, no, daddy, I didn't eat the chocolate chip cookie. You can't see it in his face. Sometimes you can if you look closely enough. If you know what you're really looking for, you can see it. But internally, his brain is in a state of survival. He is in a life or death moment. So he can do nothing more in that state than try to survive. I'm going to say that again. In that moment, he can do nothing more than try to survive. He must lie to you. There is no other option. This is so important because children who've experienced early trauma and who have sensitive brains, they've been labeled as like having crazy lying behaviors and lying to manipulate or lying to control. It's all these negative ways that we look at it, and none of that stuff is accurate. It's all a misrepresentation of what the child's real experience is. The truth of the matter is the child is terrified. Whether they're terrified because they feel like they may die, whether they're terrified because they feel like they may lose their family, because they may not get to eat any more food, it really doesn't matter. Whether they're terrified that they may not get another cookie, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the stress that they're experiencing in the moment. That's what's important. And what's important for you as the parent who's trying to help the child to learn to not have to lie, to feel safe enough not to lie. That's what I want you to put as your goal. You're not trying to stop your child from lying. You're trying to create an environment and a relationship that provides enough safety so your child doesn't have to lie. Very important difference. Because in reality, the behavior is not our focus. The behavior is just a red flag that tells us our child is really stressed. That's all the behavior is. And it doesn't matter what the behavior is. Today, our focus is lying. When your child lies to you, they are stressed out. They are in a life or death state. Here's what's important with that life or death experience that you're now engaged in with your child. You first have to calm your own stress. If you're really, Benji, did you eat my freaking chocolate chip cookie? Oh my God, what do you think that's going to do to Benji's brain? Spike his brain to heaven. He is going to be so terrified, you're not going to get anything but a lie. So what I always say, when at all possible, when Benji has taken a lie, when Benji is made a lie, he's lied, the first thing you need to do is stop and take a deep breath. You should theoretically try to stop and take a deep breath before you even ask him, right? Because you know what he's going to tell you. Stop and take a deep breath and calm your own amygdala, because your amygdala is going to send him a vibration, which is either going to jack his brain up or it's going to calm his brain down. So you have the power to do that. When you calm your brain down and turn on your oxytocin receptors, you're actually turning his brain, calming his brain down and turning on his oxytocin receptors. So that's stage one. And so you're like waiting, like you want to know what the full formula is. And I said I'm going to break this up, but I really can't do that. So I need to go ahead and tell you. I'm going to give you the thumbnail, and then I'm going to expand tomorrow. Stage one is you have to understand that life or death dynamic. You have to understand it. Stage two is you have to understand that you feel stressed. You have to calm your own stress. So when you say to Benji, Benji, did you eat the chocolate chip cookie? And Benji says, no, I didn't eat the chocolate chip cookie. Here's the formula. It's called ignore the lie, don't ignore the child. It's magic. Ignore the lie, don't ignore the child. Take 3 to 10 deep breaths. Calm yourself down. Look at Benji. Shake your head. Give him a compassionate, okay, Benji, we're okay. I love you. Everything's going to be all right. Give him a little pat, turn around, and walk away. Okay, that's very important. You turn around and you walk away. Don't address the lie. See, everyone thinks that you got to address a behavior right in the moment. That's wrong. The reason it's wrong is because when a child is misbehaving, they're in a state of stress. When they're in a state of stress, they can't think clearly. They can't remember. So to address the behavior right in the midst of misbehavior is not going to get to the learning moment, the teachable moment. It's not going to get to discipline. The definition of discipline is to teach, not to punish. So you don't address the behavior right then. Give the child time to calm down. See, when you walk away, Benji's like, oh crap, oh crap. Oh crap. See, this is important. In our society, because we spend so much time focused on the behaviors and not on the child, we don't actually give children an opportunity to feel shame or feel guilt. See, I like to say that it is okay for us it is okay for a child to feel shame or feel guilt. It's not okay for us to make the child feel ashamed or feel guilty. Because as soon as you try to make the child feel ashamed or feel guilty, they get stressed and they see you as a threat. As soon as they see you as a threat, they're not focusing on whatever it is you're talking about. They're focusing on you. This is so important. So important. Ignore the child, don't ignore the lie. Benji, we're going to be okay. I love you. Walk away. Wait an hour. Come back. Get Benji's attention. Say, Benji, son, I love you. I want you to know I love you. I also want you to know that I feel sad. When you tell me a lie, listen to those words. When you tell me a lie, it makes me feel sad. So be on the lookout for that. Have a good evening. God bless you. And we'll see you tomorrow. 6:30 Central Standard Time. I'm going to try to be consistent every single day.